Here we are, it is July 29th. We're carrying one position over from the July 28th session. We are short the New Zealand dollar versus the Japanese yen at the price of 67.61 fractional pip 4. The amount is 6,000 worth. We have two new markets that we await inside bar breakouts upon. We have the inside bar breakout model activated for the Australian dollar versus the dollar and the dollar versus the yen. So those are the two new markets for our session here. We see that the configuration for the model stands at maximum risk for the position is 2% of free margin. So you're going to see the lot size determined upon the inside bar range. Essentially, the smaller the position size, the larger the inside bar range. We are looking to take 50% of the position off the table at the 70% extension. This is different than what we saw in the New Zealand dollar yen. We put 35% of the position off at the 70% extension. We changed that because we were having some execution errors. They kept taking off more than 35%. They have trouble rounding. So we just made it on the Australian dollar versus the dollar and the dollar yen 50% off at the 70% extension. Our stop will move to 4 pips profit should the market move in our direction 20 pips. It's 8:11 p.m. Eastern Time. We're watching for two markets to break out, Australian dollar versus the dollar and the dollar yen, holding still the New Zealand dollar yen short from July 28th. Here we are on the trading session for July 29th. It is 9:49 p.m. Eastern Time here on Thursday, the 28th. But of course that counts for the foreign exchange session for July 29th. We do see the New Zealand dollar versus the yen back below the entry price, back below the inside bar breakdown price. Australian dollar versus the dollar yet to break out. Dollar yen yet to break out here. So we do see we have two fills, two new positions. The Australian dollar versus the dollar, we are short there. 4,000, 4 lots at a price of 09.71. Current bid is 09.78. Second market, dollar yen. The inside bar breakout model activated this. They broke lower. Previous session's low was 77.61. We traded down to 77.47 there. We were able to get short here on the dollar yen, 10,000, 10 lots, at a price of 77.60 there. Fractional pip 4. So 3 positions total, New Zealand dollar versus the Japanese yen. You can see profit taking took place there. On the New Zealand dollar yen, we were in 6 contracts and we've got 5 taken off, and they were all for a profit, and you can see the amounts. Okay, we do see that it was a good trade. It was a good position, and we still have some left. And what's great about it is right now our stop is at break even there. So throughout the documentation, we see that we have just, as of the documentation's records, we have just made a new equity high there. We started at 2,090, 52 cents. We are right now at a balance of 2,095, 21 cents. We've been okay. Look at the winners compared to the losers. We've only had, now granted, it's a big loser. It is no doubt about it. The biggest position loss or gain for that matter. The biggest account fluctuation, I should better say, that we've seen. But one loser. Markets have been very choppy. I mean, this is pleasing to me. I'm very happy to see this. This could be maybe not the case tomorrow, but for now it is. We're in positive territory for positions there. We could be stopped out on these. Again, I'd kind of like to see that. I'd like to get stopped out on a couple positions to test this model. I mean, the sooner the better, to see how we can recover from drawdowns. Glad to see we had a big loser the other day and recuperated. We were just stopped out on the Australian dollar versus the United States dollar. Scratch, it's a scratch. We got short at 109.71. We were stopped out at 109.67 there. Still in the dollar yen and the New Zealand dollar yen. A lot of risk aversion here taking place, priced into the marketplace upon the poor US and Canadian GDP there. So some momentum here entering these crosses upon this GDP report. Okay, so we did just see partial profits taken off on our dollar yen there. As you can see, we had 10. We are now in only 2 there. As you can see, closed in 2 separate splices, if you will. We got short at 77.60 fractional pip 4. We were able to cover there at 77.34.4 and 77.34.3 there. So partial profit stops at break even on the remainder. Remained short 2. Okay, so we were just stopped out on the remainder of the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. As you can see, we only had 1 left. We took partial profits off here earlier, and we do see that the remainder, 1 lot, stopped out at a price of 67.57. We ultimately enter our short at 67.61 there. So a scratch there on the New Zealand dollar yen remainder. We are still here within the dollar versus the Japanese yen. We already got our partial profits off, only within 2,000. This stops at break even. If it goes back to break even, so be it. Really not going to be losing too much at all. In fact, ideally it would be a break even trade. So wouldn't necessarily care not. This is a good situation. In position, continue to measure the breakout of the inside bar, but risk is very small relative to what it had been. First of all, when we had the entire position on, and in fact, our stop is in the money. So very pleased with the situation. We were able to get, we were able to take off on this market. Partial profits have been trailing the remainder of the position, and that's what we remain within going into next week. Enjoy your week, everyone, and we'll see you here shortly. Take care.